Hey, I'm Joseph from Hype Visuals, and hopefully you have already seen our overview video of what our process looks like. This is more focused on the post-production side of things. So here are a few very important things to keep in mind. Number one, edits typically take 4 to 6 weeks to complete. The next thing is you have 2 complementary revisions. Now that doesn't mean that you only have 2 changes, but rather you have 2 block opportunities to be able to give all of your feedback. After you have utilized those 2 opportunities, any revisions made outside of that will be billed by the hour. All revisions, edits, and commentary must be done via Frame.io. Frame.io is our software that allows you to make any revisions, comments, and edits down to the second of the video that you are currently watching. The reason for this is that there is no guesswork or anything falling through the cracks. We will be able to see it at that exact timestamp. Now let's talk about that very first draft that you're going to get from us, which is called the assembly edit. Now this is where we put the bones of the video together on something we have previously agreed on in pre-production. For more information on that, you can check out our overview video on our website. Now here's a couple of things to keep in mind when it comes to this assembly edit. Typically this first draft is not going to be colored or have any sound design. The volume may be all over the place. This is normal. Do not be alarmed. The final product will not look like this. This is just so you can see everything we talked about on paper in pre-production and shot list come to life in a video format. Now let's talk a little bit about revisions. First, you have 5 days from the date that we send you that link to make any kind of revisions. Feel free to text us or let us know when you have completed your revisions. Because this is very important, any feedback done after those 5 days will actually be considered your second round of revisions. Now hear me when I say we do not do this to be mean or to be cruel, but just consider this scenario. We are typically working on multiple projects at the same time, so we must truly work efficiently. If a video has already been revised, it goes straight into the editing process. Now imagine the scenario that has actually happened to us multiple times. You complete your revisions, our editors get to work on that and complete that version even though they haven't sent it to you yet, and then you decide to add more revisions after the fact. Now the editor has to do double the work because what was already revised is complete, and now they have to go back and revise what was already revised. So please do not take revisions lightly. Take the time to do that and efficiently, please. Now let's talk about music for a split second. Before we do any kind of editing, we will send you some music options that you must approve before we get started. Please do your due diligence on taking your time to choose the song that is appropriate for your video. Now the reason why we say this is because if you choose to change the song at any time during the post-production process, that will be considered a complete re-edit and will be charged as such. Now again, this isn't us just trying to be critical, but rather every single edit hinges on the music. So if at any time you decide to just change the music, you're not just changing the music, you're changing the entire video. And here's the last thing on the editing side. This is what I like to call documentary-esque type of editing. Now we're more than happy to give you the product that you deserve. However, there are some things that we need to clarify when it comes to the term editing. Editing simply refers to cutting, slicing, some mixing, and some sound designing, all that good stuff. Unless otherwise specified, we are not responsible for editing a large 4-hour type of video down into a 3 to 4 minute segment. That doesn't include the catch-all term of photoshopping some images, whether it's a tree or a house or a reflection or blemishes on somebody's face. That does not fall under the standard of editing. So now that you know about editing and revisions, the next thing that you do is you get a second draft and you provide us with more feedback. Now here's one thing that is of ultimate importance. We try to handle all of the feedback and revisions in the first round, so please do not hold back and fill that thing with all the comments that you have. Think of this entire process kind of like a filtration system. At the very top, we have our pre-production and we filter out through all the stuff. And then we go to our first draft and we filter out through even more. Then we go to the second draft and we filter out even more, to the point that at the very end, you get the product that you are happy with. The more that we can filter out from the very beginning, the better. So after that second round of revision, that is where we go in there and polish everything with sound design, music, sound effects, colors, exposure changes, all of that good stuff to make your video come out great. After that, it is as easy as sending you a link where you can download it in all of its resolution glory. So thank you for tuning in, and if you want a better idea of the entire process, you can check that out on our website.